Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you're here to watch this training and be a part of this summit because, wow, what amazing stuff and knowledge there is out there. Before we jump into the how to stuff, though, I want to start with something real. I'm not a marketing guru. I didn't go to business school and get a bachelor's or a master's in anything. But I built a six-figure creative brand from scratch. I had no plan. I had no team, and I literally had no clue what I was doing most of the time. I just had a whole lot of heart, a whole lot of faith, and a glue gun. Okay, and you might be there right now. My name is Beth. I am the founder of The Ruffled Daisy, which is a faith centered community where women come to craft beautiful things, but more importantly, to feel seen, to feel encouraged, and to be rooted in their story. When I started 14 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have a 30-year-old daughter now and a 20, almost 22-year-old son and a 16-year-old son. And so I was doing a mom life and a stay-at-home mom during that time. And I just leaned into my creativity. Number one, to encourage my boys, but number two, because we all need to stay creative every day. So I was a stay-at-home mom painting wood signs at my kitchen table, just probably like everybody else that starts a business from scratch. I didn't have a business model. I just knew that creating helped me heal. And so I started sharing that one project at a time, one story at a time. Because when I was showing up, I was sharing stories about me, about my children, about my friend, about my parents, about whatever. I was sharing stories while I was crafting. So, fast forward to today, I have built a brand that's helped thousands of women get creative again, but not just creatively, but spiritually, emotionally, personally. I've seen firsthand what happens when women stop performing and start creating from a place of purpose. But I want you to know that it's not been an easy road. We all have mountains and valleys that we are navigating through life. So, starting a business is never an easy road. Last year, I lost my entire Facebook page. I had over 70,000 followers gone overnight. Nothing. It was hacked. But you know what shocked me? It was that my business didn't fall apart. Because I wasn't just building for algorithms, I was building for people. And you guys, that is what building for connections is what is lacked in the world right now. That is what the world is lacking right now. And so take some time to really lean into this. I was building on truth, on trust, on roots that were strong. Okay. So that is what this training is about. It's not about going viral. It's not about building a brand just to keep up, but creating something so real, so you that no glitch, no hack, or no trend can ever take away. So I know what it feels like to show up online and feel unseen. The algorithms don't help that. To be doing all the right things and wonder, why is this not working? I'm posting on social media this X number of times a day, like so and so tells you, or this guru tells you. Um, I've been there to feel like your business is growing, but you're still falling apart. You guys, there was a part in my journey where I wanted to give up the ruffled daisy. And had I done that, I would not be where I am today. And I thank the Lord every day for where I am today. But I want you to know I've been there. You guys, I still struggle with, oh, I got to post this many times a day. And then over here, I'm like, you know what? You got to do what's real. You guys, it's easy to follow the trends, it's easy to follow the things, but we got to get rooted in where we are. Okay. I've been there and I want to help you build something stronger, which in turn typically usually equates to something bigger. So, if you are tired of chasing what's next, if you're ready to build a brand that actually reflects who God made you to be, this is the perfect spot for you. So, I want to dig into what it means to build a brand that's rooted in story, anchored in faith, and strong enough to stand no matter what comes. Does that sound like some stuff that you need to hear, right? Yes. Can I get a yes? So, I didn't wake up one day and decide I'm going to build a brand. What I did know was that I loved creating. I loved helping people make their homes feel beautiful and their hearts to feel something again. It wasn't necessarily about selling a product, it was about making space for that connection, making space for that joy. Back then, Facebook felt like home. I showed up every day, I shared what I was working on, and slowly, post by post, I built a community of women who were just like me. Tired, searching, creative, craving something deeper. Have we all done that? I still remember one of my very first customers. She messaged me about a simple wooden sign, and within minutes, we were talking about grief. She had just lost her mom, and painting that sign gave her one small moment of peace in a really hard season. Think back to the hard seasons that you've been through. What would peace feel like when you're in that hard season? If even if it only lasts 30 minutes. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about crafts. It was about connection. It was heart work. That one conversation absolutely changed everything for me because it reminded me people just don't want to buy something pretty. They want to feel something real. So I kept showing up. I kept showing up even when no one was watching, even when I doubted myself. I kept showing up. So fast forward to last year, I got on my phone and tried to, respond to comments, do all the things that we need to do a few times throughout the day. Um, Logged into Facebook about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I had just picked up my son from school and I'd come home and I was kind of shutting down the workshop for the day. And I think we were doing dinner or something. So I was checking messages real quick before my evening started. And everything that I had built for more than a decade was gone. It was hacked. I no longer had access to anything. And let me just say that it took me 9 months to fight with Facebook on that. Thankfully, that page is no, I just wanted it removed. I just wanted it removed because I'd already went ahead and built another one. I was not going to sit there and wait for a social media company that that you can't get a hold of. I wasn't going to wait. Okay. I had over 70,000 followers on that page. It was the main way that people found me, how they shopped my projects, or they shopped my products, how they joined my workshops, and it disappeared. So I sat for a minute. You feel angry, you feel sad, you feel violated because someone took your stuff. But my business didn't collapse. What came next absolutely surprised me. My business didn't collapse. Orders still came in. People still reached out. Emails still got opened. Why? Because I hadn't built my business on a page. I had built it on trust, on truth, and on a story that didn't rely on one app to stay alive. That's when I knew I had built something that couldn't be canceled. And that's exactly what I want to help you do today. So, what does it mean to be rooted? You've probably heard people say, don't build your house on rented land. Well, social media, that's rented land. It's helpful, it's powerful, it's amazing, but it's not yours. And if your whole brand lives there, one glitch, one hack, one policy change, and it will all be gone. But your story, your why, your values, your email list, your community, your faith, so much, that's your land. And when you build from here, storms don't shake you, they shape you. That's when you stop chasing validation and start creating something real. For so long, I thought my worth was in being visible. If I wasn't showing up or selling every day or posting every day, I didn't matter. That is how I looked at it. But God kept whispering, you're valuable. I made you, not because they see you. So, how do we do this? I have 5 steps for you. Step one, discover your core story. We're going to start here because this is the part that most people skip. Before the business, before the product, there was a purpose. Your story isn't random. The hard parts, the beautiful parts, even the parts you wish you could hide, all of it is part of the message that God wants to use. For me, I didn't want to talk about my past. I didn't want to admit I'd battled depression, that I had broken relationships, that I was probably the reason they were broke. Not probably. That I made a lot of decisions out of pain and insecurity. But the moment I got brave enough to share that, absolutely everything changed. People didn't run from my story, they leaned in, they said, same. And that's when I realized your story creates calling. When you share what you have walked through, you give someone else permission to stop pretending. And that's powerful. So, why does this matter? If you don't know the story behind why you do what you do, you'll end up chasing trends and burning out. And you're going to start performing instead of building something real. So, I have some homework on each one of these steps for you. They're going to be simple, but they're going to dig deep and going to make you want to go a little bit deeper. Take 10 minutes, set a timer for 10 minutes. Before you go to bed tonight, set a timer for 10 minutes and journal. This isn't hokey. This is what I want you to ask yourself and write down. Why did I start this? Who am I trying to help? And what moments in my story shaped that purpose in me? Let me say that again. What moments in your story shaped your purpose? It's going to feel messy. That's okay. You're not writing a bio for your about page. You're digging into your roots right now, and roots is where it all begins. Okay, so I want you to do that tonight. Journal for 10 minutes about those three questions. And then we're going to go to step two, aligning your message. Once you're clear on your story, it's time to make sure everything you share reflects it. This is from your emails to your product listings to your social captions to your voice and message should all sound like you. This can get pretty tricky in the world of AI. I'm a huge proponent of AI. I use it all the time, but you still have to be you. Okay? It should all sound like you. AI is never going to completely sound like you. Okay? Because you have heart behind it. AI doesn't have no heart. We can get it pretty close. Okay? And so, why does this matter? We talked about this before. People don't just buy products, they buy connection. And connection comes from consistency. If your message is all over the place, people get confused, and confused people do not stick around. So, here's your homework for this one. You can actually do these all tonight. Look at your last 5 posts or emails, and I want you to ask yourself, do they reflect your voice and your heart? Do they sound like the version of you who's anchored in your purpose? If not, I want you to kind of reassess that because it's time to realign. Okay. You don't need to sound like an influencer. You don't need to follow someone else's script. You just need to sound like you. The real you is what people are craving. Okay. That's it. Dig into that. Step three is inspire real connection. Hang in there with me because I am getting some good stuff for you guys today. Perfect is polished, you guys. Real is powerful. You do not have to have it all together to lead people. You just have to be honest. Some of the strongest posts I've ever shared weren't about what I made, they were about what I was learning. People connect to growth, to struggle, to story. People don't need another sales pitch. They need a space that feels safe, a space where they can say, me too, you guys, and then they'll buy from you. It's the easiest sell ever. You know how long I've been trying to get Facebook ads right? No, I just need to sell me. I'm not trying to do, yes, I run ads that, yes, they're great. I'm not saying that. But people don't need another sales pitch. They need a space that feels safe. So here's what I want you to do for this one. I want you to share one moment this week. Think to this week. I want you to share one moment that made you stop. Write that down. Something messy, something meaningful, something small that taught you something big. This one might be a little bit difficult because it was for me because I didn't really used to make myself stop and think of those things. Okay. And so you're like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a moment that was a blessing today, or I didn't, you get what I'm saying. Share that with your community. Share one moment that made you stop, something messy, something meaningful, and then ask your people to share it too. Let it become a conversation and not just content. That's when your brand becomes a relationship and not just a business. I'm on step four. We got two more. Hang in there with me, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Step four is strengthen your roots. Here's the hard truth: if social media vanished tomorrow, would your people know where to find you? You can't build your whole foundation on platforms you don't own. That is the fact. That is the cold hard truth. That's why things like your email list, your website, and your systems that you have matter so much. They're not just there to be flashy. Your website isn't there to just be cute. It's faithful. It's what you own. Trending things come and go, but when you build something sustainable, your business can weather anything. So, here's your next step: start your email list if you don't have one. If you do have one, I want you to nurture your email list. Even if it's just 5 people, or if it's 5,000, even if it feels awkward, I want you to write like you're writing to a friend because you are. Okay? Do that. My little email list is what kept my business alive when Facebook fell apart last year on me. Okay? That little list. I had 5,000 people on my email list. I had 70,000 people on my Facebook page. You guys, I lost no income because I nurtured the heck out of my email list all the time. It matters. Okay? It matters. So I want you, that's your homework. Start or nurture your email list. Just get it done. Get it done messy. Okay? Number five is yield fruit over time. This one's big. Fruit doesn't grow overnight. There is no overnight success. You just found someone and you're like, oh my gosh, look how successful she is. You didn't see all the behind story. Okay. Fruit doesn't grow overnight. And the best kind, the fruits that are strong and sweet and lasting, they grow slow. We live in a world that tells us we have to hustle, we have to rush, we have to scale fast, we have to do this, we have to do that. But if you are rooted in faithfulness and not your followers, you don't do that. Okay. Fast growth can be exciting, but it can also be shallow. Slow growth, that's where the good stuff happens. So give yourself grace for where you feel like you are right now and not where you should be. You are exactly where you should be right now. And I want you to lean into that. Okay. So here is your assignment for this one. Set a reminder on your phone that says roots before fruits, steady over viral. God is doing more than I can see, because He is, even when it's quiet, even when it feels slow. So I want you to set a reminder on your phone that says that. Maybe goes off every day, or put it as your lock screen so you see it all the time. Okay. So, what does this look like in my life right now? When I lost my Facebook page, people thought that would be the end of my business. I thought it would be the end of my business, but instead of it breaking me, it proved that I was rooted. I didn't lose everything. I just found my foundation. My income stayed steady. My people stayed connected. My message kept going. And more than anything, I had peace. Okay. Because I wasn't the one holding it all up, God was. So, this is packed full of a lot of stuff, and I hope it stirs something up in you. I would definitely invite you to take the next step. I have a free story blueprint, and I'm going to give it to you free. And it's going to help you walk through these exact 5 steps with space to kind of reflect and journal. I'm going to give that to you. For being here, and because I'm just going to make it easy on you. Download the free blueprint, and you got it right there in front of you, holding you accountable. Here's what I want to know: you're not too late, you're not behind, you haven't missed your chance. The story that is being written inside you is the story worth telling. You're the only one that can share that story, no one else. So I want us to build something that lasts. I want us to build something that's real. And I want us to build a brand that can't be canceled. There's a lot of cancellations in the world today. I am so glad that you guys are here. I would encourage you guys to follow me on all the social media. It is the Ruffled Daisy. My picture's in the profile everywhere. So it's going to be easy to find when you just search the Ruffled Daisy. I will put some links in the notes as well. So thank you guys for being here. I'm super excited to hear the rest of the talks and the rest of the trainings. I'm excited. So thank you, Shelly, for putting this together and asking me to be a part of it. It has been an absolute blessing. And I pray that God blesses every single one of you.